gets hard to distinguish between the different answers. So usually I think 5 to 7 is good. There's sometimes discussion about whether having an even scale is better than an odd scale, because then you don't have the possibility for a neutral response. But it's something to consider. Personally, I think I go for the odd number scale with just 5 to the most 7 possibilities. Okay, so in a couple minutes we'll talk about the last couple of considerations, but I see that it looks like there's a few questions, so I'm going to stop here for a minute and try to answer those.
Okay, we have a couple of questions from John. One question is, you said earlier that random sampling is statistically better than other methods. On the flip side, what's a statistically valid return rate?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So, of course, as soon as we get under a 100% response rate, we've basically lost our random sample. So, you do have to keep that in mind. In terms of a statistically valid response rate, there's no single answer to that. I've heard anything from 40 to 60% as being acceptable, but of course we see published literature all the time with even much lower response rates than that. What I would say is that ideally you would want to shoot for at least 40 to 60%, but just keep in mind that you can still draw some conclusions and make some decisions based on your data even if you have a lower response rate. You just have to keep in mind is once the response rate drops under something like 70 or 60%, that there's probably some difference between the people who did answer the survey and the people who did not. You can't necessarily determine what that difference is, but you just want to realize that the data